often feel that they have no one to rejoice with them. Somehow they've been led to believe that bragging on Jesus is akin to blowing one's own horn. However, I want to affirm again, as I do so often in Success University, it is okay, it is all right to be successful in ministry. And there's no better place to talk shop than with other team members. Today, here at conference, we once again, privately and publicly, will affirm those of you who are experiencing God's favor. We will not allow our meetings to become grumbling and whining sessions. We understand that the weapon of a positive spirit is powerful in overcoming the assault of the evil one. Often, sir, I tell my people, I can think of all the negative things myself. I need their help in pointing out the good things that are happening. Today, we gather in a very unique place, a renovated warehouse in a small upstate village. For some reason, possibly bottled up prayers of saints who have gone on before, and efforts of Pastor Andrew Fetter and the people of Fusion Community Church, God has chosen to bless this place. Last Sunday, 511 gathered in this building to celebrate their annual Viper Sunday. And for the first time, listen to this, for the first time in 170 years, the Eastern New York, New England district has a church that averaged over 300 for the entire district year. I'm pretty pumped about that. And so we celebrate with Fusion. When we walk into these facilities, we're excited. We're thrilled. You say, well, tell us some of the things about it. Perhaps they'll run a video later and show you what it looked like before. But they took the consultation. They said, or we told them to go mobile, get out of their little building downtown, where they didn't have room to grow, where the sump pump room was next to the nursery and the smells were atrocious and it wasn't coming from the babies, where the algae was growing out of the walls and mothers were seen to disappear from that basement with their babies never to return again. And so they swallowed hard, took some money, went mobile, went to the high school, and God helped them to jump from 180 to 325 in one Sunday. They've never looked back. They were kicked out of the high school. As you well know, and this warehouse was the only building in town that was available of size that would handle what they were doing. So they borrowed $400,000 from WIF, signed a 10-year lease, retrofitted this place, and today we sit in a wonderful, wonderful setting, and God has helped them to win, I think, 70-something people this year to Jesus Christ, and there are positive things that are going on. In our DBA meeting yesterday, I looked at one of the long-term DBA members who've been in this church, and I said, Wes, how long have you been in this church? He said, since 1964. And it's people like Wes Lawrence, who have borne the heat of the day, who carried the water, who loved and cared for others, that have helped make our district and our churches possible. Wes, would you stand? We want to salute laymen like you who are in all of our churches. Every Sunday night I get an email from Wes. We have an agreement. He's the treasurer, so he writes and tells me, this is how many we had in church, this is how many found Christ, and this is what our offerings were. A year ago, they were having a hard time meeting budget. A year ago, things didn't look very good. They were having a hard time meeting USF. But somewhere in the mix, God shifted gears on, and the report began to come in that they jumped from $5,000 a week to $10,000 a week. They oversubscribed their budget by $60,000. And because they're team players, they took 10%, $6,000 of that, and sent it to the Vision Fund. Because they're team players, they carried the load on the Jesus film project that we have this year. I tell you, they are proving to us that you cannot outgive God. And when we look at what God's doing down here, we prayed and begged God for a church that would rise above so that we could all attach our wagons to that church. And we have one now, and we thank God for it. And so those of you here from Cobleskill, we are not here to whine and look at what God's given you and be jealous. We're here to look at what God's given you and say, if He can do it for you, He can do it for us. Praise the Lord. When you get my report, you'll notice that half of it's not written down. You understand? You understand what I just said? Now, another of the team building events is the ministerial retreat. It's a powerful time of R&R, building relationships and developing Eastern New York, New England community. And I say this every year, but I want to say it again. Attendance is not optional. It's not optional. And for you pastors, there's some things that you just need to understand, and that is, you have a job, and you're part of the district, and part of that job is showing up at events. Just a thought. Amazing thought, isn't it? All right. Now, this is a major event in the life of our organization, and churches are expected to cover the cost for the pastor and spouse. And delegates, another way that you can help the spouses and the pastors be present at these events is by providing child care for the parsonage family while the parents are away. It's a wonderful gift that you can give. This year at Camp of the Woods, Reverend Isaac Smith, District Superintendent of the Dakota District, will bring a whole panel of ministers to share with us. One of our prayers has been, Dr. Wood, that larger districts would look on us with favor. And when I asked if he would come, he said, I'll only come, but I'll bring a panel of guys with me. So there are 4 people coming from the Dakota District, and we will only pay their expenses, but no honorarium, and they'll come and share with us what God is doing in an amazing way in their place. Dates are September the 30th through October the 2nd. And my prayer is that some of their DNA will rub off on us, and that we can follow their example in impacting literally tens of thousands of people for Jesus Christ. Another team building event is Unleashed 2013, and that will take place in this building tomorrow. It'll be a day of inspiration and training. We will celebrate victories, and we will receive world-class training from world-class presenters. Again, God has given us the favor of individuals that He is blessing. And we have a team from 12 Stone.